Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in to Sunny Side Up on Light FM, and it's time for the Wake Up Call with Karl. I am your host, Karl, bringing you new sounds and awakenings from the region and beyond. And joining me today is a Palestinian singer, songwriter, and actress, Lina Makhoul. Lina,
How are you?
how are you? How's everything?
Well, as it is.
As it is, right?
Yeah.
So Lina is joining us from her bedroom right now. Where are you exactly in, or do you not want to disclose your whereabouts? In what city?
I am in my house in Akka.
All right.
And that's my bedroom where I work on all of my songs, actually.
Amazing.
That's the place where magic happens.
This is where the studio is, ladies and gentlemen. For all of those watching or listening, you don't need to go to $1 million studio to make your music. You can literally do it from your bedroom, and that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of music. So, Lina, before we dive into our questions today, I would like to just give a quick introduction. You are a Palestinian singer, songwriter, and actress. You've grown in a multicultural background, right? So you've always been challenged by your surroundings. You use your music to always reach your people, your crowd, and to always tell a story and empower your people and empower your crowd. And this is basically what we're all about here at the Wake Up Call, is empowerment and telling stories. So Lina has a really exciting and new project that she just launched called the Yom Project, hashtag YOM. And so we're going to be talking a bit about that project today. So before we actually go into the details of the project, I want to just take a step back and talk about what the hell we've been through these past 2 years. So, well, this past year and a half, if we will. So, Lina, 2020 has been something, right? It's been a trip.
It's been a crazy ride.
Right.
And still feels like it's still 2020.
Exactly. It's 2020 ongoing. It's January 2020 all over again, and February 2020 all over again.
Yes.
So,
It's been a
Tell me.
rough year, especially for musicians all around the world, artists. Didn't get a chance to perform. Everything was like freezed for a long time already. But yeah, it was a very challenging year.
absolutely, very challenging year. So, Lina, tell me, what has been sort of that learning point, or like anything? How has 2020 changed Lina as the individual and Lina Makhoul as the artist?
Okay, a good one. It's funny that you're asking this because, like every year before New Year's Eve, I make this list, of the things that I want to work on this year. And my main goal was to reduce the gap between Lina the individual and Lina the artist, because I always felt like there is a huge gap between my personal life and my professional one.
Yeah.
So somehow 2020 was like a great year to do that. All the tweaks I needed to be tweaking,
Yeah,
they were perfect to do in 2020.
you had the time.
So I had plenty of time for the first time in
Exactly.
years, and I had to keep busy, doing me.
Yeah,
I didn't have a chance to be traveling or performing or doing the usual stuff I was used to doing, but instead I had to be at home to get to know myself better, to get to know my family better, to get to know my friends better, to learn how to cook, and depend on myself in every aspect. So we said that 2020 was really challenging, and I wanted to challenge myself even more, because that's what I do.
yeah,
Because I felt like the whole
Hard
world
worker.
is challenged. So it's a really good chance and opportunity for me to use all these challenges and challenge myself in my own way. So that's what I did. And I think I was successful at, reducing the gap between Lina the artist and Lina the individual. So
Yeah. I think it's always an ongoing process, right? Like you're never really done actually knowing who you are, even like as an individual. So the more you learn about yourself, the more time you have to learn about yourself, I feel gives you more time to also learn about your creative self and to bridge that gap. And I feel like a lot of people think that artists just create
yeah,
and that's it. Like especially musicians, because yes, you can do a song in a day, definitely, and that's what you did in your latest project.
right.
But how comfortable were you with yourself? How uncomfortable did that make you? And all of these things are things that you're trying to tackle while doing a project like this. It's not because, yeah, I have some time on my hands and let's just do a project and a song every day, right?
Right.
So
because
that's
I wasn't
really
even approaching to this whole thing as a project in the first place. Like I was, locked in. Everyone were locked in their houses all around the world. And I felt so depressed because I felt so stuck. I was planning my whole year. It was the first year of me being an independent artist. And I was planning every little detail. And suddenly, bam, like after being at the Brits Awards in February last year, just like this time, and going back home and planning my next trip, then bam, pandemic, a global pandemic. You can't go anywhere. You must be in your house. You can't go to the studio. You can't finish your projects. Everything is like stuck. And I was super depressed. And I got to a point where I knew that I must do something about it. I must create. I have tons of energies. I have tons of ideas, tons of creativity, and I have nothing to do, with it. So it started as an Instagram challenge. And it was just, for fun, just to spend my time doing something that has to do with music here in my room. So, that's how it started. And
that's
then
amazing.
After I saw the great feedback I was getting from my followers, from fans, from, people around me, I said, all right, let's take this one step further and do something that really matters. Like it doesn't have to be so big as you're used to doing things. You can do this like as a side project. So let's work on that. And that's how I spent, the last year.
That was great. So Yom is a project where you called on your followers to write the songs.
Yes.
And then you picked your favorite ones. So how was that? How was that process? And then so just for our listeners and viewers to understand is Lina asked the followers to write the songs, but then Lina took the lyrics and composed and wrote the whole song. Every song was written in one day, right? Until you got 10 songs.
Correct.
All right.
It was
and this is what made the Yom project. So how was that process? How did you select the lyrics? Let's say.
Okay.
Let's start from that.
To be honest, I want to spit the tea. Okay, the tea is like that. I was so lost on social media because I didn't have anything to post, from my professional life. So my friends, my girlfriends, we are 6 best friends. They called me and they were like, "Okay, we need to make an intervention. We hate what you're doing on social media. We love the artist you are, and you are not showing this anywhere. So please, would you just sing whatever, just cover songs?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not covering songs anymore. I'm done doing that."
That's it. You're done. You're done, sis. That's the tea. No.
I don't cover songs.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I told him, you know what? I will find my way. So the day after, I was like, damn it. And I said, okay. I posted on my stories. I was like, okay, dear followers, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I want you to challenge me. I want you to send me whatever text, even if it's from your SATs books, from your, phone numbers, jokes, whatever. And I challenged myself to compose something every day. So I was taking this as a joke in the beginning until I received the first text, which actually was a song called Rani Ufair. I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's actually a good text. And I said, okay, maybe for the first day of the challenge, I should pick like something more, teal, classy, to do something that has meaning behind it. So I gave myself like 2 hours to compose it.
Okay.
I filmed it, I posted it, and it had like tens of thousands of views. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. And then I realized that my DMs were like exploding with texts. And I was like, okay, something is happening here.
Yeah.
So about your question, how did I pick the texts? They had to be they had to be the kind of texts that I would write. I had to feel the lyrics. I had to be able to imagine myself in this position. And I told myself, if I find these kind of texts, I will compose them. If I find something that is almost as of, the things that I like, I will make some changes, I will edit it, and I will make it like, in my style. And fortunately, I got a big amount of texts, and I could find every day one text that went perfectly with my style. So yeah, every day I would pick one text. In the morning, I would wake up around the 9 a.m., drinking my, coffee and going through my DMs. And I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Let's do this one today. And then at 11 a.m. sharp, I would be here sitting on my piano, composing it. Usually it took around like 1 to 2 hours to compose it. And then I would start to get ready, get all dressed up, makeup and stuff, and listen to the recording in loop, just to remember how to perform it, for the video on Instagram. And that would be it. And for 10 days, I had 10 songs, 10 videos on Instagram. And I felt like I was really doing something with the time, the plenty of time that I had.
Well, that's beautiful. What really inspired me from this story is just the fact that, well, we're gonna get to the writing process in itself later. But what I really liked is that people have so many stories to tell. People have so many things to say. Like, it's crazy that, well, first of all, I just want to shout out your 6 best friends, like your friends crew, for calling you out, because I don't know, like maybe that was a trigger or something like that, but you always need like your friends, your closest friends, to keep you in check and to like let you know that, okay, listen, you're doing some things on Instagram that we might or might not like, and that's entirely up to you. But if your closest friends are telling you something's up, then that really plays into, and kudos to you for listening, honestly, because a lot of people go into that ego trip of, like, what do you understand and what do you get about like maintaining an Instagram profile or maintaining like an online persona
in our relationship and the people in my personal life. Like them, I am their friend and they see the potential in me, but I'm not, their celebrity friend.
Absolutely.
So I listen to them. I listen to all of them, and I take whatever feels right, and I do. So, like, no ego here, no playing games. They are real ones.
Thankfully, you didn't do the covers, right? Like, thankfully, you didn't decide to like fully commit to what they asked you to do, and like, please cover more songs, because like. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I just need to tell you something. Okay, yeah, it is cool for us to do cover songs, but there comes a point in a young man or a young woman's life where they want to just not cover songs anymore, and we just want to make our own music. So when you see your friends trying to make their music, try to encourage them to keep making their own music. Don't encourage them to go back to doing covers, because that's a step back. If you're at that point, if you're still doing covers and you enjoy it and you like it, that's your creative decision. But then if people tell you go back to doing covers, no, don't compromise your voice. Don't compromise your integrity, right?
Your individuality, you know?
Exactly.
I am a big supporter of individuality, and because it's really important. Like, doing covers is taking somebody else's individuality and trying to make it your own. I mean, it's really good if you are in the beginning of your journey, of your musical journey, because you can find your own sound.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you are a creator and you have more to give other than be a good singer, then work on it.
Yeah.
Work on
absolutely.
writing, work on finding your own individuality and let it out. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about Young Project, that the writers in it, they got to be, 100% original, and they could like أبرزوا فاهم أبرزوا
أبرزوا definitely
in their own individuality, and each and every one of them had a different story to tell, and they all made it to an album, and they never thought that they would ever be able to write a song,
Absolutely. That's the crazy part. And you credit them, and I love the approach that you took, and you like did these ID visuals for every single writer that you have, which is in itself amazing, and it's so cool, because we always also, like, as listeners, we always tend to just see the end product. We never see who wrote that song. Like, okay, maybe sometimes we do think that, okay, yes, that artist writes their songs and they write their own music, so of course they did the whole song, they did the whole thing. But sometimes when like other writers are involved, we never know who the other writer is. We never understand like that process as listeners. So it's cool that like you were able to take that, like that concept of writing a song and made it completely independent from the whole process. That's in your hands. You had no control over the lyrics. The only control you had was selecting.
Right.
And then everything after that, like composing and creating a song from it, came from you. But the lyrics themselves written and are from other people, and that's astounding. That's in itself so magical. So Yom Project, honestly, like I've been listening to it nonstop for the last couple of days. It's such a good project, so cool, very sweet, short, to the point, and I feel like it serves its purpose. And in the end, this is the type of music that artists need to, like, not need. I don't believe in having rules, but I really feel like when you create a project, someone should, like, the artist should know the limitations of the project, and they should understand that this is as far as I could take it to. You did the Instagram videos, you did the ID cards for the writers, you put the project out on streaming platforms, and that's it. You did what you had to do.
One important thing that I filmed and edited 10 music videos.
Yeah, exactly.
Each song on my smartphone, on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I did it all, and I was like, you know what? I don't have the means. I don't have the possibility to go out and really make a big project out of it. But I do have my smartphone. I do have my neighborhood. I do have my city and the cities, that I can go to, and that's more than enough. I can show a really different approach to an album and to music videos and to this whole, industry that we're used to be seeing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm happy you mentioned industry, because now this is where our next question comes in. So, Lina. Lina Makhoul. جاهزة؟ Okay. So last year you went from being a signed artist to an independent artist, and not not too many people understand the big implications behind it. Not too many people understand what that really signifies in terms of your creative output, what you can and cannot do. But just for our listeners and viewers to understand a bit, is signed artists have a record label. They have distribution. They have publication. They have everything under their belt, right? They have tools. They have more tools. They have more possibilities to get their music out there. They have more resources. They have more budget. And that's a great thing to have as an artist, because a company is basically loaning you some money to make something creative out of it. And then as soon as that creative output starts making money, you give back that loan. And then everything after that, either you make as a percentage or you own completely, depending on what deal you get. And a lot of artists have these like their art, their music, their songs. A lot of your favorite artists, ladies and gentlemen, don't own their songs. They don't own their music once they're signed to.
Taylor Swift story.
Yeah,
Someone
absolutely.
as big as Taylor Swift.
Ask Taylor.
Yeah.
Just ask Taylor Swift. Just ask her. So yeah, so they don't own their music. They have these files, they're working files called masters, and they don't own them anymore. They go completely to the record label. So when you are independent, you don't have as many tools as a signed artist, but you own your art.
Own your art in every possible way.
You own it at 100 and 200%. You own every single part of your process. Your music videos, your songs, your collaborators, they own their music. They can do whatever they want as well with the collaboration that you've done with them. So you recently went and took that shift, which is a very brave shift. So can you tell us a bit about it? Tell us a bit about, first of all, how was it, like, how was that creative change? Like, not creative, how was that strategic change? How did that happen in your head? And then how were you able to, like, what prompted this decision?
Oh, wow. Okay. One of the things that you were saying about owning everything, you also, when you are independent, you own all the creative process.
Yes.
Meaning, when you are a signed artist, labels and managers tend to try to get you in a certain formula because they are the ones putting the money, the resources, the connections, and they want whatever you're doing to succeed and for you to be on the highway. But many times when you yourself don't have the knowledge of what you want to do as an artist and what is the main direction that you want to be committing, it's really hard because you try to fit yourself in and do whatever they tell you, and then you will feel that you are not fulfilling any of the potential that you have. And the thing I fear the most is unfulfilled potential. That's like my biggest fear, living with an unfulfilled potential. And that's the reason why I had to give up on all the great things that come with being a signed artist.
Yeah.
I was willing to give it all up just to find my true voice, to find my true worth as an artist. And yeah, that's like the main reason. Like, who am I even if I'm like super successful all around the world, even if I'm making all my dreams come true, if I go home or go off stage and I feel like I'm not full inside, what the hell is that worth? You know?
Absolutely.
And in something so simple as your own project, which really, like, I needed 0 resources to get it done. I felt so full in the whole process. And it was amazing. It was a great lesson to me that I have to do my own thing, to stick to my own, I don't know, this gut feeling on the inside.
Absolutely. Your instinct. Trusting
Trust
yourself.
the instinct, the artistic instinct, and create something out of nothing.
Yeah. That's beautiful. So on that note, how has this project, has it, or maybe it hasn't, but has it maybe shifted the way you now perceive songwriting as a process? Because you were talking about like owning that process, but now all of a sudden with Yom, the process is different, right? It's such a different way to write a whole project, let alone like not just one song, right?
It was careless. I didn't have any strategy. I didn't have any business strategy. I was just doing it. And that was the thing that I love most about being independent. Like in 2020, I released 13 songs, 10 of them amongst the Yom project and 3 other singles. And they were all like discussing something from my real life. And I promised myself that I will not think about the business effects. I will just make music. I will just put it out there, no matter how many streams, how many views, whatever. I just have to put it out there. And that's what I've been doing. And fortunately, people have been liking it. And it's giving me even more strength to keep going and to keep fulfilling, my full potential.
Absolutely, that's beautiful. So like the process in itself.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself like twisting the songwriting process more maybe in the future, or would you go back to like now maybe? I know this question is like very interviewee, but like, would you see yourself maybe later on doing different types of challenges or different types of projects that also bend sort of the rules of songwriting?
I don't know if I would make more challenges as this one, because it was a really tough thing to do. But definitely, like in my writing process, I usually like sit here in my room and I say, okay, I have this idea. Let's work on it. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, I drop it. I'm the kind of person. Usually, artists have like a million of songs, hitting inside of a drawer. I'm not one of them.
Can't relate. I can't relate with that.
No, like I can tell if it's going to be a good one. Like if I'm here, just whatever 4 chords, and I'm like whatever, and I'm like, ooh, that's good. Okay, you keep doing this, and I start recording on my phone, and I'm like, okay. And a few hours later, I listen to it. If I say it has potential, then I stick to it, I finish it, I record it, and I release it.
Yeah.
And I can tell if it has potential or not. So I don't know if the process of creation would be changing, but the thing is, one thing is for sure, that you don't have to take things too seriously.
Absolutely.
Like this project taught me that I don't have to think things too much, overthink them. Because I usually overthink a lot. I'm a Cancer, so what I do is I overthink. And the Own project I didn't think at all. It just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. It flowed. It flowed through you. It was honest. It was based on your instinct. And I feel like this is what a lot of people trust. Right? And it's their instinct, it's their gut feeling. And as artists, I feel like that feeling that you get when you start writing a song or when you start composing or playing or whatever, that is your instinct. So basically, so when you write a project like Yom project, I feel like the more you write, the more that instinct of you like playing and listening to your chords, listening to the melodies and all of that, and practicing, it only reinforces, well, not only, but in very high part reinforces that instinct that you have as an artist.
Correct.
Right? And this is where you decide that, okay, yeah, this is a great thing that I have and this is a bad thing that I have. But obviously, like at the beginning of your career or any artist's career,
It's years of practice.
it takes so much practice to develop that instinct. And
Yeah.
telling yourself like, yeah, this is a great song, but in the end could not be a great song because
Exactly.
it
Yeah,
depends.
it takes years of experience and years of listening to stuff and years and digging inside yourself and inside your own, sound and style and stuff. So yeah, it takes years to point out what is going to work and what is not.
What is not, absolutely. So when you write, and then we're gonna get closer like to the end of the interview, but I do want to talk about two small aspects about the project. So when you write a song or when you write a project, do you ever think about the outcome? Or do you ever think about like, yeah, people are gonna love this one? Or like,
Okay, let me tell you a secret. Usually, when I write something, if I feel on the first verse that, like, if I imagine people singing it along, like this is my cue on knowing that it is a good song.
that's the one. Yeah.
Like I have this kind of thing. I have no idea why it happens, but usually like every song that I start like, just picking chords and singing the first verse, if it's good, I really imagine people singing along with me, like crowds singing along with me. And I say, okay, that's a good direction. Let's keep.
Yeah. That's such a cool process because like every artist has a different type of process. Some artists write and they don't care. Some artists write and they think to themselves, yeah, this is right down my lane. This is my lane. This is what I like to do. And that's your sound. And that's how you made these lyrics that you found your own. That's how they worked with you. It's because you also listened to them and you had that process. So that's cool. Now, going back to the lyrics, you have a lot of girl power in this album. So let's spill the tea. Let's go. Let's talk about this. So you have over the 10 tracks, 8 of them are written by female writers. So what does that like? Was it a conscious decision? What does it represent to you?
To be honest, I didn't realize this thing only after I finished the whole thing. And I was making the writer's IDs and I was like, wow, there's only 2 guys in all the album. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, let's do this like statistics. 8 out of 10 are females who don't have a previous experience in writing. Yeah. Most like one of them is 15, one of them is 17, 2 of them are 18.
That's beautiful.
That's 4. One of them is a grandmother, which is like I don't know how old she is. She never told me, but I believe
Yeah, well, she passes that age of asking like, "How old are you?" Like at that point,
they ask them all, because I needed to have their approval, and if they were, if they weren't legal yet, I had to have their parents' approval. So yeah, like the amazing thing is that 3 of them are high school students. Wow. The rest are university students, and it's just incredible because none of them ever imagined that they would write something and that it would be out, and especially not as a song that people would be singing. And they have amazing stories, like 10 stories. I love the guys too. Even though I'm a girl, I'm a feminist, but
shout out to the
equality. and I appreciate really all the songs. 10 amazing stories and 10 different stories. Like one of them wrote a text at the 5th memorial of her late father, One of them was going through the biggest fight of her life, fighting cancer. One was like celebrating the love and relationship she's been in for 10 years. And yeah, like incredible stories and really different stories. But what does the fact that 8 out of 10 of the writers are females? I think that maybe I found myself in their texts.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I felt like, okay, there is a girly community that I might belong in. Because my entire life I was very tomboy. I was into football. But, you know, I was maintaining like, you know, an image of a girly girl, but deep inside I was a tomboy. So yeah, this time, like I said, okay, I have so much in common with girls and women in all ages. And I freaking love that. I love the empowerment. I love how powerful they are. I love how they express their feelings and thoughts. And I am so proud of them because it's not easy. Like one of the girls is 17. She's from Gaza. She's from Gaza. And she wrote like the sassiest, badass song, في حالك بالله خليك. Like, you know, and I was like, damn, like I must get to know this girl. And we had like this live stream on Instagram and she's like the coolest.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Like, honestly, the fact that you had so many, like a diverse, still yet diverse crowd write to you, like from different ages, different walks of life, different experiences. That's so cool that it really shows that we're all able to like really relate on the simplest of things, and on the like the
search, we can always find something to relate. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's beautiful. I love this. This is like this project keeps getting better and better, and I'm geeking out right now. Like it's so cool that you're able to put this together and still do it and still put it off so gracefully and so like with that simplicity. So amazing job, Lina. My last question is, what is next for Lina Makhoul?
What is next? Well, we'll have to wait and see because I have no clue. But what I do know is that I'm going to maintain the special bond I have with my audience. And I want them all to know that an artist is nothing without them.
Without the ears.
Nothing. Like I can be singing all day long and releasing music all day long. And if no one listens to them on the other side, it's pointless. So I'm going to keep my promise to my audiences that I'm going to keep being loyal to myself and to them. And that's the only thing I know. Other than that, we'll have to wait and see.
نتكل على الله. As we say here, نتكل على الله. So great, Lina. Thank you so much for being on the Wake Up Call, and we like personally, I would love to see like what's yet to come from you in terms of music for your future and all of that. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you can listen to Lina's music, including the Yom project. That's hashtag YOM project on all streaming platforms. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you can also stay up to date on Lina's Instagram, Lina Makhoul. It's Makhoul, but like Lina.
It looks better, you know?
Oh, well, it does.
Honestly, it looks better without.
I think it's edgy. I like it. Like it's a cool edge to it. So Lina Makhoul. So that's her Instagram account. Lina, thank you so much. Like I wish you the best of luck in life and in your future, in your career. You're still a young artist, still like pushing forward, still trying to find the boundaries of your creativity and trying to be as honest as you can and as as relatable and as close to your audience, as you said, and loyal to your audience as you can. And I commend you for this and commend you for this move. And again, shout out to your homegirls for keeping you in check. And, and shout out to all 10 writers of the Yom project. Without you, this wouldn't have been the project that it is. And really, thank you so much for being on the show. We can't wait to have you again later in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Wake Up Call on Sunny Side Up with Lina Makhoul. The time is now. Tune in next Friday for more.